I was actually the thing that Aaron told me I can't do is I was going to lower this from a string.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been cool as hell.
That's her too. But she saw me bringing it up to the like pipe above me, and she was like, "It's a bad idea. Don't do that. It's a very heavy box. If that breaks,
that would have been so much fun. That would have been great video watching that box come down from the heavens. Oh man,
no, I might still do it at the end. I don't know, because I usually have my like bottle set up right here, and I was like, the box is very different. Yes, I was a little worried about the warmth of the box though, like 'cause it's been out here for a while.
Oh yeah, well, that's why you get the tetra pack. Look at that.
I mean, you could get the tetra pack, or right? you can use your kid's penguin ice pack and just shove it right down in there.
No, I kind of thought that came with the box for a second. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a white wine from Chile.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm super excited to be here. Aaron here, and as always, I am joined by just the guys that fill my social cup the most, Joel and Colin. How are you guys?
That's so sweet, Aaron. I'm glad I'm able to fill your social cup, especially because I prefer my social cup somewhere close to empty. So this right here is
really,
yeah. I mean, I enjoy you guys and the rest of my friends, but I'm kind of an introvert. I like being at home, kind of a homebody. Me and my wines. You know.
Oh, like, do you like your cup empty, or do you just like your cup filled by very specific things?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Probably more filled by specific people than empty. You know. Yes.
Are we part of that?
Oh God, yes. Oh, my cup runneth over at the moment.
Fantastic. No, I can relate. I mean, I like being out. I say I'm introverted too, Colin. I like to be out and to talk to people and all that good stuff, but it absolutely drains me. Like, yeah, I can only do 100%. It for so long. You'll notice if if we're at a thing, I'm going around, I'm talking to people, I'll hit a wall and I'll be like, okay, goodbye. I must go to a dark room and listen to music and just be alone for like 4 hours, recharge, and then I'm good to go again.
This is so funny. Because I also like, I've realized in my life that I'm like a introvert extrovert in the sense of like I need socialization. I like being like around people, but it has to be very specific people. I don't like meeting new people. I don't like small talk. Like, I will go to UCF game watches and I will find the 3 people I know. Yeah. And there will be 75 people there, but I will go stand with the 3 people I know. And those 3 people might be very social and talk to other people, and I'll just like stand off to the side until they come back.
100%.
So I love this. I need this. I love you guys. I love talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And like, if you two brought on a guest host that I did not know, I would probably be here in the episode just being like, all right, next segment.
Hello.
What are we talking about? Who is this man?
Wow.
Or woman?
We'll hide Aaron from the strangers then. We'll make sure the boogeyman doesn't get you.
I was going to say, I brought my friend Bob in to guest host on this one, but I'm not going to do that anymore.
They're good. Don't surprise me with strangers. Just send me their resume ahead of time so I can pretend I know them.
That's fair. I say I think I've met all the people that I need to meet for the rest of my life at this point. I keep them around. Yeah. I keep the 6 or 7 people, and that's it. I'm good. Game lock.
For sure.
Yeah. You just gotta hold on to them now moving forward. And you got to find things you can, and very importantly, you got to find things that you connect with them about so that you continue that piece. You know, I have a friend that I like jog with. I have a friend that I talk politics with. I have a friend that I talk sports with, and I have folks I talk wine with.
There you go.
And so
you're such a 21st century man.
Talking wine. I know I try to be well rounded. I'm a holistic person. That's what the kids say nowadays. Yeah. But we're here to talk about wine.
That's right.
And so, Joel, we have a wine that we're talking about today. And, this wine has slightly less details than some of the wines that we talk about available, but a whole lot of personality. Joel, what are we talking about today?
Well, Today, we mentioned it's a white wine from Chile. One big piece that we left out of this is that this is a white wine from Chile in a box, or a tetra pack, to be slightly more specific. Listener, if you remember, if you were listening in to last week's episode, Aaron, you were pretty adamant that we could find some maybe pretty decent boxed wine, and kind of challenged you. So you brought a contender today. So more specifically, this is the Black Box Sauvignon Blanc from Chile, 13% alcohol, and I believe this was about $5 for the Tetra Pak, the 3-glass Tetra Pak that Colin and I are enjoying tonight, or are hopefully enjoying tonight. Aaron, I believe you have a different type of vessel for yours?
Oh yeah, I went full box on this guy. I have it up near my stool, and I knew it was going to be sitting out for a little bit, so I also made sure that with my box, I also stuck some Penguin ice packs in here from my kids' lunch boxes. So I am like really just solid and ready to go,
He's ready to go.
for a night of testing. And I do want to say, like, I am not entering tonight's episode arguing that boxed wine can be equivalent to your best wines. I don't think we're gonna find a boxed wine that is going to rival, some of the really solid wines that we found for similar price points. Quantity does not equal quality, as this is like the equivalent to like 4 bottles of wine. But I was relatively unimpressed with last week's Bordeaux Blanc, maybe controversially, but for $14.99, we put in a closet wine, and my personal feeling is like I think you can get a Savi B for the same ish price range. I think this was $19.99 for the 4-bottle equivalent. Yeah, I just think I don't think it was potentially so much better. So that's where I'm standing. But I don't think this is blowing us out of the water.
Yeah. And to be very clear, this is not a challenge episode, listener. Okay, calm down. We might do one in the future, but this is just kind of born from our conversation last week. Let's try a box wine. Let's see how it is, see where we can take it. So absolutely looking forward to trying one, and exploring the different, like we were talking a lot about just the different packaging for wine. So only fitting that we try one that we chatted about and see what we get.
As the biggest skeptic here, I just want to say one thing. I don't know if you guys remember our talk about non-vintage wines and what I laid out as the 2 categories of non-vintage wine, this being a non-vintage wine. And if you remember, they were sparkling wine, which this is absolutely not sparkling wine. And you guys remember basically the other category I mentioned as non-vintage wine?
I believe you said it was garbage wine.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So, that's a red flag right up front. I'm going into this with an open mind, or as open-minded as it possibly can be. So I hope it proves me wrong.
I gotta wonder though if it has to do with the packaging or whatnot. Like, I read that I don't think box wine is meant to stay very long. So hopefully the reason that it's not vintage is not so much that it's not quality wine, but that just the packaging does not allow for the wine to age past a certain number of months. But who knows?
The one thing I do know is that I don't know. So let's let's move on.
Fantastic. So no vintage on this wine. Like kind of mentioned, I picked this wine this week because, it's a different type of wine. Love having a box wine in our fridge. Want to see where it stands against some of the other Savvy Bs that we picked. Or actually, we didn't have a Savvy B this week. We had a Bordeaux Blanc, which was 70% Savvy B and 30% Semillon, which is a word I remember how to pronounce. Yes. Thank you.
You did that whole segment last episode with a slight French accent. I don't know if you picked up on that, but the whole thing, even like the non-really French words, you kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed it, and I was like, I couldn't go in and out. I think I said like it is, and it was like a little bit of like a French accent. I mean, you know what? I'm just going full Pepe Le Pew on this, and we're just moving forward. It's fine.
Own it.
Lean into it.
It's the most convincing set of words I've had together. It's actually the only 10 seconds that I felt like I should be on a wine podcast were the pronunciation of those words.
That's fair.
Nailed it.
So here's where we are. So, all right. So we have this box wine, but before we jump into dissecting this beauty, Let's learn a little something.
This is the only thing you will learn.
All right, so we are back to our regularly scheduled program now that we have claimed Joel as the trivia champion. And
he deserves it. He did such a
I'd
good job.
almost forgotten.
So I doubt that.
Congratulations, Joel. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. It feels good.
Yeah, it should. This week, we're going to learn a little bit about Sauvignon Blanc. It is the one grape that we have tried the most on this podcast. For whatever reason, it seems like we are kind of drawn to this one. So I figured we'd talk a little bit about its origin, where you can find it in the old and the new world, what you can expect as far as flavor profile is concerned, and a little bit about what you can expect as far as style. Sauvignon Blanc is originally from France and found mostly in Bordeaux in the Loire Valley. We tried a Bordeaux version that was mixed with Semillon, but a Bordeaux version last week, and I don't believe we've had anything from the Loire. In the old world, France is the largest producer of Sauvignon Blanc, but you can also find it in Italy and a little bit in Spain. And then in the new world, you can find Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand and the United States. Those are the big two. But then you also have Chile, which we're drinking tonight, and then South Africa and Australia also have quite a bit of Sauvignon Blanc. Now that we have a little bit of an idea of where it comes from, I want to talk about what it tastes like and what you can expect kind of from those regions or the different climates. And with so many other wines, it depends upon climate and style. In cooler climate Sauvignon Blancs, you're going to get more green fruit like apple and lime. You also get, and I've never had this fruit before, so I don't necessarily know what it tastes like, but they say there's a fruit called a gooseberry, which
I've had gooseberry.
Have you really?
No, I was really excited that there was something that you haven't had, and I was just committed to no matter what it was.
Wow, that was.
I got so excited for a second
because I have so many questions. Because what I've read is gooseberry can kind of taste like cat pee. So I don't know.
Maybe
Awesome.
I have had gooseberry. I don't know.
I've never had gooseberry, and I don't have a cat. So
Joel is definitely Googling gooseberry right now.
I'm Googling gooseberry. Not goosebumps. That popped up.
Oh,
Gooseberry.
What are you finding, Joel?
Well, I will tell you, there is a lingerie company called Gooseberry Intimates. So that is the first thing that comes out. Probably should have done this on my work computer, but that's cool.
The thing that really throws it off is its image is like just a silhouette of a cat pissing. And you're just like,
that's not what I'm seeing.
This is very much a thing.
I'm going to go ahead and X this out. Go on, Colin. Sorry, buddy.
Yes, so yeah, that gooseberry flavor. And then you can also get some vegetal flavors, like fresh cut grass is one that I've experienced. Jalapeno is another one that I've experienced. And then asparagus is another common Sauvignon Blanc flavor.
Asparagus, jalapeno, and fresh cut grass.
Yeah, depending upon, if it's cooler climate, you can absolutely find some of those in there. So it'll be interesting to see. This just says Chile, so I'm not sure in Chile where it's from. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of flavors we get out of this one. And then the cooler climate regions are the Loire Valley in France, which I mentioned. And if you're searching for wine from the Loire Valley, you can look for Sancerre, which is a sub-region, or Puy-Fumé, which is another sub-region. Those are both going to be, you're definitely going to find a lot of those green flavors and a lot of the vegetal flavors in those. New Zealand is actually Marlborough, which we've had a wine from, is going to be cooler climate. And then there's in Chile, which this wine is from, it's the Casablanca Valley. Again, I don't know if this one is from there, but if you're looking for cooler climate Sauvignon Blancs, the Casablanca Valley in Chile might be a good example for you. Warmer climate.
I think it's like again, as we go through our wine experiences, like New Zealand wines have been a lot of fun to just like go to a wine store and find, a lot of wine stores have like the New Zealand sign up and there's a sub selection there. And I've noticed it's a lot of Sauvignon Blanc and a lot of, really decent ones. So it's like, Paris process has been kind of cool. Would that be New World or Old World?
New World.
New World, right? Because it's just not Europe.
Yep, that's right. Anything out of Europe.
If you were colonized, you are New World. If you are a colonizer, you are Old World. Just that's much how I'm gonna remember it. Please continue.
All right. Well, we each to each their own. And then warm climate Sauvignon Blanc can be a little bit more tropical, and that's where you get those flavors of passion fruit and grapefruit. You can even find some mango in there every once in a while, but that's definitely more of the very ripe style of Sauvignon Blanc. So if you're looking for a warmer climate or warmer climate region Sauvignon Blanc, you want to look towards Napa in California. You want to look towards Bordeaux, which is going to be not necessarily ultra warm, but it's going to be in France warmer than the Loire Valley, a region like Stellenbosch, South Africa, and then another big Sauvignon Blanc producer in Australia is the region of Margaret River. So those are all different places you could go to find warmer climate Sauvignon Blancs. And then in general, Sauvignon Blanc is known for its high acidity. You usually find it unoaked unless it comes from Bordeaux. Sometimes in California, you see it with a little bit of oak on it. And then that usually happens in the warmer climates. So, and that's kind of the primer on Sauvignon Blanc, or as Aaron now calls it, Sauvi B. Any questions on Sauvignon Blanc?
Sounds great to me.
I'm surprised we haven't done that more on this show. That exact line right there.
More great puns.
Yeah.
More great puns. Great puns are great.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Enough. Too much. Too bad. Pushing the. All right. Also, we've learned a little bit of something. I've made a costume change. Let's smell this wine.
For the listener at home, he's now wearing a Savi B t-shirt.
Thank you. Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah. Joel, this is now your official job moving forward. Like, put it on your task list of like, keep track of if we say something that doesn't make sense to anyone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Joel.
Go.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's do it. Let's smell this wine and see what we think.
Tastes like wine.
Colin, what are you smelling from your Tetra Pak mini box wine?
Yeah, so this is definitely very green. You get a lot of those cooler climate green flavors, and even more so the non-fruit green flavors. I actually get quite a bit of that jalapeno. It's pretty jalapeno-y. It's like shockingly jalapeno-y.
You know, it's funny when you said jalapeno during the learn segment, like something like clicked in my brain. I was like, oh, that is like kind of like the missing flavor as I was trying this.
Yep. And then maybe even a little bit of that asparagus. Like, I wouldn't be too afraid to say that either. But then you also get a tiny bit of grapefruit. It's definitely not a fruit forward wine. You guys picking up anything else?
Only other thing I'm getting is, definitely the citrus part. I think grapefruit. And then I know you said jalapeno, but to me it's more like green pepper, like a green bell pepper.
Yeah, sure. Same family.
It's like, it's not, I guess what I'm trying to call out is, to me it's not like it's not spicy. It doesn't seem like it's gonna bite. It's definitely peppery.
It smells spicy to me. Not like, I don't expect the wine to be hot spicy, but it smells like it smells like spice smells, if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
I will say what I don't smell is thinking back to last week, like, and we all kind of immediately got hit with like the appley citrusy aspects of the Bordeaux Blanc with the Savvy Be Heavy. Like, that's not the forward smell in this one. So like, even though like last week's wine was like 70% Sauvignon Blanc, this definitely has a different, general scent.
Maybe like a tiny bit of lime, if we're talking about fruit, but it's mostly vegetal for me. It's not very fruity.
So Colin, I do want to ask them. I'm super curious about the Tetra Paks and like if people are going to drink from them and how they should experience them from the beginning when you opened it up to now. Have you noticed any shift in the aroma and the smell, or has it come out kind of just like as is, or is there kind of a pour and wait aspect of this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that has to do with the packaging, but it definitely has changed in its smell. It was, all the flavors were kind of mixed when I first poured it. Kind of smelled like green peas. Like, I couldn't really, everything was just sort of together, and it was kind of this amalgamation of green, and it wasn't very nice, honestly. I really, the first sniff, I was really worried. But after a little bit of time in the glass, a little bit of swirling, they've kind of all calmed down a little bit. You can start to pick up individual flavors as opposed to just like gross green. So I would say the smell has actually gotten better over time.
Much better.
The more you swirl, like I'm going hard at it because I'm really trying to find something that's not vegetal, you get some more of that grapefruit. But you really gotta get in there.
Well, and one thing too that I think is kind of interesting is, obviously I think, we all know wine will open up in time. So usually there's a change, right? Maybe specific to the Tetra Pak. I think that there was, when we first poured it, maybe some, I don't know what, but some almost plasticky. The first time we smelled it, I was like, oh, it's almost like there's a little, not chemical, but like materially scent to it. So I wonder if that has maybe now dissipated and also cleared it up a little bit.
All right, so we've smelt it a lot. We've see, what we're getting there. Let's taste it and find out what we're dealing with here. Joe, what you doing? How you feeling?
Okay, you know what? Before I answer, I'm going to have a sip straight out of the pack. I feel like it's only fair.
Do you want me to get you a bendy straw?
I want a crazy straw. You guys remember crazy straws with the loops?
I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. I remember crazy straws. I live for crazy straws.
You're like, I don't remember them. I have one right now.
I can go
out of frame.
It's shaped like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Ah, fun. Okay. Honestly, similar pack and glass to me. I'll tell you. Okay, so first of all, just as far as what we identified when we were smelling it, definitely, I'm actually getting a little bit more of the lemon and the citrusiness than when I was smelling it. And everything else that we've said, the pepper, all that good stuff. What's interesting is, to me, it's a little like watery, though. Like everything is a little bit muted. Nothing is really sharp. It's all there, and I can taste it now. But like, it's all very, very quiet in there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Makes a lot of sense. I think you're right on with that.
Hey, Colin, how you doing?
Yeah, for me, it's like very jalapeno-y. That's like the one
Yeah.
I get. Like it's very, very jalapeno-y.
Ever since you said that, that's been haunting me. I can't like spicy margarita style. I'm I'm having the same kind of like mouth experience. I'm like, this is strange.
Yeah,
this is weirdly strange.
Yep,
get out of my head.
But after it's melted a little bit, right?
Yeah, totally. But I'm also getting a little bit of that citrus, like Joel said, and a little bit of that grapefruit. But Joel's right. I would say the nose is a little bit more expressive than the flavors on the palate. It's the flavors are very watery and they last for a second. It's like, oh, high flavor, oh, bad flavor.
It's like a juicy fruit wine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think juicy fruit has more flavor than this, but
not in profile, just in how you eat it and it goes away.
Okay.
Zebra stripe.
Oh,
gum.
100%. I'm there with you.
Delicious, or like it's the best 10 seconds of your life, and then it's done.
4 chews and you're popping in another piece. That's what this wine is. Yeah, it's I mean, this is not the best wine you've ever had in your life.
Minus the best.
Yeah. Nope.
But it the same kind of flavor goes away quickly vibe for sure.
I agree with you guys so much. Like there's a jalapeno aspect, but I agree is like there's this weird like you got like the tingly of the tongue like you add something spicy, but the spiciness isn't there, and there's a little bit of the citrusy aspect. But yeah, but everything kind of fades after a couple seconds. Yeah. It's just it just is what it is. The Sauvignon Blanc flavor is there, and then it's gone. It's fleeting.
And much like the flavor, everything else about this wine is also very thin. The mouthfeel, very thin. It's almost like watery on the mouthfeel. The acid is probably, I don't know, maybe medium plus. It's definitely not like screaming acid like we've seen on some of the other Sauvignon Blancs. It's just kind of just very, everything is very watery. It's a watery wine.
All right, guys. So we've talked about the smell. We have talked about the taste. But what does that all mean in the end? Did they like it?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
You know what? I'm going to go first because
curveball.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say again, like as someone who is untrained with wine, who can't tell the difference between, an apple and a kumquat, like I am not offended by this wine. I think that if your goal is to just have like, a good percentage of wine in your fridge, just so you can grab often, like it's not upsetting. It's not going to taste funny. It's fine. It's a fine Savvy B. I think my thing with last week was like, I think for the price point, you could do better. And I didn't think that the Bordeaux Blanc was anything to write home about. And so like if I had to choose spending $19.99 on, 4 bottles of wine in a box and $15 on one bottle of like okay, Bordeaux Blanc, I would go with the box. But I also say that knowing that I'm just looking for a slightly passable, Savvy V. So I don't know if my closet is a fridge. This is a closet. This is a closet. This is a closet wine. This is just like it's a backup wine. It's like have this in your fridge in case you just serve wine to people, and you don't like it. You just need a lot of wine, and so that's where I am. It is a closet fridge wine. Joel, how are you feeling?
Okay, so I think there's a very specific taste in really bad wines. Like I think back to the layer cake that definitely had it, where the lingering, like almost chemically fakey thing, I think to me, when you have like a really, in my opinion, kind of like poorly made wine. This does not have that. And I came into this fully expecting this to be going straight down the drain. And I'll be honest too, the first couple of sips, I kind of reaffirmed my initial suspicions. I was getting ready to start pouring it. As time went on, it did balance out quite a bit. Unfortunately, still, there's the watery aspect where, at the end of the day, I don't really think it's doing all that much, and it's just this kind of weird watered down taste. But I agree with what you said, Aaron. Like if I'm having something where I need a lot of wine and maybe I'm going to stick it by the pool or something like that, I think this is a fine wine to bring out for that situation. So it's going in the back of my wine closet, but I am going to put it there. That's my official review.
Awesome. Colin?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
The wine isn't good. It's not even like, in my opinion, a good example of Sauvignon Blanc. Because if you love cool climate Sauvignon Blanc and you absolutely love that jalapeno flavor, then like this might be the wine for you, because that's pretty much all you get. But it doesn't stick around too long. This just doesn't hit it for me. As far as just the wine goes, I'm not buying this again. Like it's just not that good. I think I'm going to put this one down the drain, because there's not too much. The flavor's super thin. It's like jalapeno water, really, is what this reminds me of. So
that's fair.
There's not much I go back to that really makes me want to take another sip or show this to anybody else. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm draining it.
I think, what's funny? I think I would be more into this if instead of calling it a Sauvignon Blanc, they just called it like the Black Box Party Wine, and just don't try, don't try to put it, into an actual varietal or anything like that. Just kind of like the Bud Light Party Ball.
Provide this to humans.
Just make this the Black Box Party Wine. Yeah, exactly. Safe for consumption.
Is alcohol.
Has some flavor. And it's cheap. It is wine in a box.
It is cheap.
Yeah,
it is cheap. But that might be its one saving grace.
I think that's all very fair, right? I think like coming in, we're not looking to try to find like a box wine that is going to rival, an equivalent price thing in a bottle. I do think it sounds like where we're landing, and maybe we want to. Man, like this feels very, very similar to our canned wine conversation of where we were like, this has a niche purpose. And like, if your purpose is like, you want a lot, you want something that travels with you and you can carry with you and you can crack it open, you can drink it at a tailgate, you can have it at a party, like canned wine, great. I don't think any of us would have argued that wine would have been a great wine to buy like in a bottle for $20. And I think this similarly is kind of in a place where we're like, if your goal is to have a wine at a party that is a white wine that is not bad, it's not Franzia, it's not like people are going to open the fridge and be like, why the hell did you buy that? But is something in quantity for like $20 that's going to, I want to say feed a lot of people, but that's the wrong phrase.
Run with it.
Hydrate a lot of people.
That's not the right phrase either.
Dehydrate a lot of people.
Closer to the tree.
Fantastic. This is possibly the choice for you. So like, I think we should go by person. Like, I would say not a waste of your wine in that aspect of like, look, if you're not super critical about wines and you like white wine and you're kind of cool with this flavor and you like it, great, buy it. It's a lot of bang for your buck. I mean, if you need a bunch of white wine for a party, great. Joel?
I will also say not a waste of your wine, similar to my Hampton Inn, you're spending $3 anyway to get a Diet Pepsi example. But if I'm ever in the situation where I need 3 glasses of white wine that are mobile for $5, it's a good option for that situation. So if that's your situation, it's not a waste of your wine. That's my vote.
Caldwell?
Yeah, I think I'd rather have another 3 glasses of white wine that aren't this box. I don't know. It's just not, there's nothing to it. It's weird to me. Like the flavor profile, again, if you like it, drink it. I'm not saying don't, but I would think this is a waste. It's not interesting enough for me to go back. Like I would never buy this again. Absolutely. Like regardless of the situation, I would never buy this. So I can't recommend it to anybody else. So for me, it's a waste.
Well, awesome. All right. So here we are. Thanks for hanging with us. Experimental episode, box wine, first of many, many, many box wine episodes.
Or no more. Depends.
I would do another. Let's do some like not quite so big swings for a little bit. And then maybe we'll bring one back.
Every 20 episodes moving forward is a different box of wine. I'm fine with that.
We should try more box wine. We should.
So with that being said, Joel or Colin, I will toss it out because now I don't know who should take it. Where can people engage with us?
Joel looks like he wants it, so I'm going to give it to him.
Joel wants it.
I feel like I know
Come
it
on,
now.
Joel.
I feel like I know it now.
I believe in you.
Absolutely. Okay, so listen, a couple of ways that you can reach out to the crazy boys over at Stop Wasting Your Wine. Go to Stop Wasting Your Wine. Don't laugh at that. Go to stopwastingyourwine.com. Go to our website. see where we've ranked all of our wines on the Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine.
Yep.
Right. Also, Colin really wants the Facebook group to get really big.
If it works,
so
it works. If not, that's fine too. I thought it would be a fun place to interact, but maybe it's not. I don't know. No.
Unnecessary shot across the bow by Joel.
No, not at all. I just know that Colin really wants it to happen, so I want to tell everybody at home too. If you dust off the old Facebook arena and get on there and come follow us and hang out, Colin wants to hear from you, so come talk to us there too. No, that'd be great. I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much. This is a great episode. We really appreciate you joining us. Join us again next week.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye.